Before diving deep into the episode, I just want to say a massive thank you to you guys. So, we're all about building a space about wellness and personal growth. So we really want to bring the best conversation on Wellsome podcast. And in order to do that, I really ask you to support our journey, hit the thumbs up, just share the episode if you really think that it can resonate with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to keep up with us. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Wellsome, a podcast where wellness meets self-development. I'm Vicky, and in each episode, I'm going to dive deep into real conversation about health and personal growth. So in today's episode, I have a very inspiring person, Dave Catudal. Did I spell correctly?
You did. You got that right.
I was so scared to spell it miscorrectly, but now we're good to go. So Dave is a wellness entrepreneur. And the reason why I invited him on the podcast is because he has a lot to say, not only about his personal journey as, wellness expert, nutritionist, but also as a wellness entrepreneur. And I think wellness and business now, they're hand in hand more than ever. And I can't wait actually to ask him all these questions to, get inspiration from him.
Thank you.
Dave, how are you today?
I'm very well. Thank you for asking.
Good.
Happy
good.
to be here.
Yeah, that's nice. Me too. So first thing first, how did you get into wellness? How was your journey?
So do you want me to take you all the way back?
Please.
All right. So I've been in the wellness industry, I guess you can say, since I was 19 years old. Actually, 18 years old. I was a personal trainer at age 18. 18.
Wow.
So I'm 43 now. So it's been, you can say, an adult lifetime.
Wow.
In one industry, laser focused, driven by purpose and passion, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
But that journey came from, I guess you can say, a tough place, which I think most of the, journeys that really define your mission,
Yes.
They start in a hard place. So what switched me onto wellness? Like your question, how did we get here? I grew up in Canada in a healthy family, but my brother had leukemia when he was young. He was age 4 and fought it for 5 years until he was cured, like considered cured at age 9, but it was rough. He spent his childhood in the hospital and, lumbar punctures and like transfusions and like it was really rough. So I was 6 years older than him. So that part of my childhood was watching my brother be sick. He's fine now. He's a celebrity trainer.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. No, he's fine now. Let me say he is also a wellness entrepreneur.
Wow.
So, and it'll all make sense in a second how we kind of took
What's
this direction.
his name?
Phil Catudal.
Phil?
Yeah.
Congrats.
Inspiring.
Yeah.
So after he was considered cured at age 9, my father, who was the healthiest man I've ever met, right? Never smoked in his life, never drank in his life, took his lunch hours and ran. He worked a corporate job, but he went to the gym, like on his lunch hours. He was fit. He was diagnosed with a very aggressive form of lung cancer that spread to his brain, and sadly he passed away very quickly. And that happened right after my brother was cured. So, growing up in a family where you're watching your brother get sick, then your father gets sick. He passed away when I was 17 years old, and he was only 46 or 47. And then seeing people sick that you love makes you never want to see people sick again, right?
Absolutely.
Like that it really changed something in my brain at that point where I was like, I never want to be sick. I never want to see anyone sick. I want to learn everything I can about health, about how to avoid,
And help people, I guess.
100%, and help people avoid this.
Yeah.
Interestingly, so that was when my father passed away when I was 17. I became a personal trainer at 18, like dramatically changed my habits. I was not a healthy kid, I was a teenager. I was, doing all the teenager things.
It was different times, we didn't know much.
It was, exactly. It was a different time. Exactly.
Yeah.
The like social awareness around wellness just wasn't there, right?
Yeah.
You either went to the gym or you didn't. That was kind of the polarization of it. So anyways, I became a personal trainer at 18 and became obsessed, like just real obsessed, going from a destructive path to finding my power in taking control of my physical well-being, my mental well-being as well. But interestingly, so years passed. I went to university, studied kinesiology. You know, I was obsessed. I thought I wanted to be a doctor. Realized quickly I didn't want to do that much studying.
Yeah.
And because I always had that entrepreneurial spirit in me. I had a landscape company when I was very young. But to the wellness point is I actually ended up getting cancer when I was 23 years old.
Oh.
So, you know, if you look at the timeline, you know, like my brother gets leukemia, my father passes away of cancer. Several years later, I get cancer. And that really...
Which type of cancer?
Testicular cancer.
Okay.
Which, in all regards, is a relatively easy one to treat.
Okay.
But yeah, so that journey is through watching people get sick, through getting sick myself. I can't really say getting sick, getting diagnosed with cancer. Because when you have testicular cancer, you don't feel sick, right?
Yeah.
At least I didn't. And that really defined my wellness journey. So that's what brought me to this obsessive pursuit for everything wellness, longevity, optimization. That is my journey.
That's very interesting and so inspiring. And at the same time, I notice, and this is something that I think I keep on repeating in the podcast all the time, but this is something that I notice in everyone, especially in the wellness industry, is that there's a pivotal moment where something really bad happened in your life. And normally it's probably something tragic or a loss or something, or someone that you see that unfortunately is not healthy, or something happened to your beloved ones, and then it becomes your mission to just be healthy yourself and just help people to not get at this stage.
Exactly.
So it's very impressive also to hear from you as well that this became your mission.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And can I ask you also, how was your experience with the cancer diagnosis? How did you take it? How did you manage?
Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of reflecting on this, right?
Yeah.
Like, because at the point where I had cancer, I was 23 years old. I was like, I felt on top of the world at that point. I had just opened a gym, and you know, I was a fitness model, kind of bodybuilder type, you know, completely dedicated to that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Getting sick was just not on my radar, right? Like I didn't even think for a second. But you know, with testicular cancer, you know, you feel a very obvious sign. And I was diagnosed very quickly. You know, being in shape, you're pretty connected with your body. So if anything is off, you kind of know quickly.
Yeah.
So went to the hospital and immediately got diagnosed. They're like, look, you know, a couple tests, biopsies, and this and that. And the procedure was clear, right? You remove the cancer in this case, which they did, and that was a success. And the protocol back then, and I'm sure it's still the same, was, you know, prescribing chemotherapy as a kind of preventive, like just making sure, okay, that's gone.
That would kill all the cells.
Exactly. Now you know, looking back, maybe still a little bit reckless, like I declined chemotherapy. And
interesting.
And you know, that's a personal decision for everyone, right?
Absolutely.
There's no right or wrong in
Absolutely.
this. This is everyone's personal decision.
Yeah.
When it comes to that discussion with your doctor, there was no way for me. Now, and again, this is probably borderline on a little bit of recklessness.
Yeah.
But when you're 23, you feel kind of king of the world.
Of course.
I thought you know, take it out, get that done.
Yeah.
And then it's gone. It's done. You know, like tell us, like move on.
Move on. Yeah.
Now I knew enough about nutrition at that point. You know, I'd been obsessed with boosting your immune system, with metabolic health, with understanding inflammation and how that affects your understanding cortisol and how that affects your inflammatory system.
Yeah.
And so I kind of, that even leveled me up to one extra level of obsession where it's like, okay, now you have to teach your body to heal and never get sick again, you know?
Yeah.
Like how, and of course, when never get sick again, that's a wishful thinking, but it's the mindset of like, how do I reinforce my body?
Yeah.
So, and what did I learn from this experience, you know?
Absolutely.
And how can I, you know, improve and learn more and learn more?
Yeah.
So that was my experience. And again, I've spoken to hundreds of cancer patients. I've helped them with nutrition protocols and supplement protocols. That is a very personal decision,
Absolutely.
right? How you go about your healing journey,
Yeah.
everyone is different. I've seen both sides work. But for me, that was my choice, and that was ultimately the right choice for me because it really empowered me to realize,
Yeah.
wow, you really can heal yourself.
Yeah.
You can rebuild your system and you can create a very resilient system, but you have to know what you're doing, right? And
Absolutely.
it has to be done consciously and not recklessly, which
Absolutely.
took me a while to learn, but
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I just want to say something for our followers and disclaimer. Dave is sharing his story and his decision to, decided to go for like optimization, I would say, rather than taking the specific treatments.
Sure. Yeah.
Everyone is doing themselves.
Yeah.
He did him.
Absolutely.
And the reason why I also invite him is because he's sharing his story, and this can be inspiring and can be like a different perception and point of view, I would say, for people. But of course,
Absolutely.
everyone is doing their own. It's your
Yep.
decision,
Yeah.
your body, your by individuality.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted
Yeah.
to say this disclaimer.
Yeah.
But coming back to the story, so you told me that you decided to avoid that part of the treatment. So you did the operation and you decided to not go for the
Yep.
chemo.
Yeah.
So what were the optimization that you said that you implement into your life to level up?
Right. I mean, the wake up call for me was two things at that moment.
Yeah.
Was one, your emotions drive everything.
Yeah.
Like I realized that I made myself sick. Like I think I realized that like instantly, like I did that to myself. Now, again, this is a personal thing, right? This is my perception.
Absolutely.
Because after my father got sick, well, after he died, I thought he's the healthiest guy in the world. He's never smoked. He's never drank. He looked like a Spartan warrior. And here I am, like shithead teen, drinking and doing drugs and like doing all the wrong things.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm definitely going to get sick.
Yeah.
So I had it planted in my head that because my brother got sick, because my father got sick, I'm like, for sure, I'm going to get sick.
I see. It was a subconscious
It was planted.
misbelief.
It was planted. It was like, it's going to happen to me because,
Wow.
I mean, looking back, like, how can you not think that, right? You're
Of course. You're
innocent little-
scared also. Yeah.
Totally. But I never showed that on the outside, right? The fear was on the
course.
inside, like push down, push down, push down.
Repressed. Yeah.
Totally, built all the muscle on top of the fear. So I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
But inside was the untreated trauma from watching my brother be sick, from watching my father pass away.
Yeah.
So that trauma manifested as the illness,
Yeah.
which was my cancer.
Yeah.
So the learning experience, as you just asked, like what was the the moment, what did I really gain from this?
Yeah.
Was first the realization that our health is truly a mental game more than a physical game. At least first, like the first stage of your well-being is mental.
Yeah.
If you are repressing emotion, trauma, if you're not feeling love, self-love, or love for others, you're going to be sick in some way, or you're going to be depleted in some way, or something will manifest as an exterior issue in your life
Yeah.
that feels physical, even though it starts emotional. So I learned that,
Yeah.
which brought me on a very inward kind of spiritual journey in parallel to my nutrition journey. So the second thing I realized was being as close to nature as possible is, in my opinion, again, this can be this is debatable, but
Yeah.
in my experience, being as close to nature with your food and with your actual connection with nature is super important as well.
Yeah.
So I've eaten exclusively organic since I was 23. Since that
Wow.
happened, exclusively. Like, of course, I'll go out to dinner. It's probably not going to be organic, but that's rare occasionally.
Of course, and it's also good for your mental health.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Yeah.
to
Balance.
connect and go to
I've
restaurants.
learned the balance.
Yeah.
I used to be crazy obsessed. Like
Yeah.
I was looking, like researching ingredients. Like does this have like really bad, like
Yeah.
too much. But there's certain things of being obsessed have taught me a lot. Like, I haven't drinking water out of a plastic bottle in over a decade, right? Like, because the BPA, right? So you start to, when you become obsessed,
Yeah.
you start to find that you can't be afraid of everything. You can't be perfect in every way, but you can do an audit on your life.
Yeah.
And say, what do I do frequently? And are these things that I'm doing frequently healthy, or could they potentially be detrimental to my health? So, like, for example, I haven't worn deodorant since I was 23 years old. Personal decision.
Of course.
In my research, that's a direct route of chemicals into your bloodstream. So you can do natural alternatives.
Absolutely.
Skincare and all this. So I believe that being as natural as possible it's a decision you have to make, because it's a commitment. It really is. But it also, whether it works or not,
Yeah.
I believe it does.
Yeah.
Placebo effect is
Yeah,
very
I was
powerful
about
too.
to say, yes.
I believe that being natural keeps me in my natural state.
Yeah.
Which means my natural healing capacity is activated.
Yeah.
So I'm a big believer in keeping things as natural as possible, and
Yeah.
I've been that way since 23, so now 20 years.
Yeah, to be
Yeah.
honest, I really resonate with your mindset, especially with keep it natural. For example, I don't know you, but I assume it's the same. I'm traveling a lot, a lot. And I feel that now I turned 30, I need to take care of myself, even though I'm obsessed with my food as well, because I'm gluten and dairy intolerant.
Oh,
and
yeah.
everyone is like, why don't you cheat? And I was like, why should I? I feel crap when I
Yeah.
cheat, you know?
I hear
It's just like a disservice for myself, no?
Yeah.
And then, but now with all this traveling and everything, I feel that I need to be on top of my health because otherwise we live in an environment that doesn't serve us.
In this modern society, with all the
Yeah.
stress, with all the toxicity, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you said emotional, first of all,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I love that you pointed out that
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
resonate with it a lot. And I can see it also in my client, and you saw but in all of your clients as
Yes.
well,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it's a huge component. And then keep it natural. And when it comes to, for example, biohacking, because those are kind of like biohacking, let's say, adjustments that you do for yourself. So what do you do to like integrate biohacking and longevity into your life?
Great question. And so here's the interesting thing. So what is biohacking, right?
Yeah, please unwrap it for me.
So, well, if you look back at our parents' age, right? Even when we were kids, right?
Yeah.
You know, we're about the same age. So
Yeah.
when we were kids, you got health advice from one person only. That's your doctor.
Yeah.
Right? If you're sick, you go to your doctor. If you have something wrong with you, you go to your doctor.
Yeah.
That system is outdated, right? So we now, because of our access to information, because of influencers, for better or worse,
Yeah.
for the exposure we have to information, we now have access to taking control of our health in a lot more personal way. So it's no longer we're outsourcing our health, right? It's no longer something's wrong with me, fix me, right?
Yeah.
That used to be the conversation.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I don't feel well, let me research that, right? Let me find out. And I love that. I think that searchability started the biohacking movement because the conversation stopped being something's wrong with me, please help me. It's now something's wrong with me, I need to find out what I can do to fix this, right? And that's what I believe biohacking really is. It's taking the power into our own hands and saying, I want to be either optimized or I want to be better. I want to not be sick. What am I going to do about that?
Yeah.
Right? And so biohacking is, in my opinion, the definition of taking control of your health, your performance optimization, and all of that with various different tools, right? That could be with supplements, that could be with different protocols, it could be with breath work, that could be with these cool new gadgets that they have, all this red light therapy and stuff. I mean, biohacking really, again, it's taking charge of your health and saying, I'm not going to, outsource this to someone else. I'm going to become my own practitioner, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the biggest misconception about biohacking and longevity? Because it's a word that has been used and abused, I would say.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big topic, right? Because I think there's a lot of misconceptions within that umbrella term of biohacking and longevity. I think the main thing that I see people going in a slightly wrong direction, I'm going to say wrong direction, but ultimately I think it has a beneficial purpose in the long term. I think too many people are jumping on new things they don't even understand before they've even created their foundation, right?
Oof.
So most people, and what is your healthy foundation? You need to make sure you have good gut health.
Yeah.
Like your gut needs to be assimilating nutrients properly. It can't be inflamed. The bacteria balance has to be, optimal. Your digestion has to be reliable and consistent.
Yeah.
Once you have that and you have, minimal systemic inflammation, then all of these biohacks can be very effective.
Yeah.
But if you're, not sleeping properly, you have bad sleep habits, you're drinking, more than your body wants to tolerate, you have a, compromised liver function, and then you're doing all these cool little gadgets, you're still not making a dent
Yeah.
in what you could be doing if you had first got your foundation.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
it's just building a house without foundation, basically.
100%. Yeah, exactly. It's like you're putting all this beautiful marble everywhere, but you don't have a foundation, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I think the biggest misconception is like, I'll do these gadgets and it will make me better.
Yeah.
Those gadgets might make you, again, the good part of these gadgets and all these supplement protocols and everything, I think the good part is it's still people trying things for themselves. And I think that's important.
Yeah.
I think it's important that people try things and see, how did I react?
Yeah.
But we can't go into that with a mindset of like, this is going to fix me,
Yeah.
or this is going to help this because I read about that. It's like, well, if you're, gut health, if you're inflammation, if you're cortisol, if your mindset,
Yeah.
if you have a victim mentality even,
Yeah.
most of these things are just not going to work.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the biggest misconception is
Yeah.
this does this because I read it. It's like, no, this can do that if everything else is optimal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The reason why I introduced the podcast by saying deep conversation, real conversation about health and personal growth is because personally, and I'm sure that maybe you saw it in the wellness industry, there are a lot of people that now are passionate, and there's a lot of information out there. But the truth is that sometimes we see wellness trends, or we see there can be the matcha, the Pilates, also the biohacking and the infrared and everything. And I love the fact that now there's enthusiasm, especially from people, to try those trends. But it's also true, for example, when it comes to my experience, that I see a lot of people that maybe they're doing the infrared, they're doing the sauna, they're doing this. And then they're out and about drinking alcohol, doing drugs, and not sleeping, and be completely stressed. And then most of the time, we need to come back to the basics. Exactly. So the fact that you reinforced this concept, I'm very happy that you did, because sometimes we are so distracted from all these trends and all these new technologies, which are very good to try.
Absolutely.
But we need to also understand what is good for me as Vicky and what is good for you as Dave.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I think as a whole, I'm very optimistic about all of this emerging tech.
Yeah.
All of this, the increase in the science behind nutritional supplements and the ability to make these supplements super powerful now.
Yeah.
I think it's all a good thing in the overarching,
Absolutely.
scene. I think it's great. However, I do think people need to sometimes strip things back and start with the basics and build themselves up. And I think that that's where you're going to get your best outcome.
Absolutely. And Dave, you're also a very successful entrepreneur. I really got inspired from your journey. And I'm sure that wellness helped in your leadership. How?
Cool question. I laughed there because I'm just launching a new brand, and being a successful entrepreneur, it's like you kind of have to laugh at that sometimes, because to get there, you have to fail so many times.
Please say it. Please say it. Please say it.
No, it's funny. It's like since I started my first business when I was 19, which was a construction business, like a landscape business, which became a construction business, which was pretty
Canada.
cool. In Canada.
Okay.
Yeah. We did like lawns and like landscaping in the summer, and then we did snow removal because it's Canada in the winter.
Yes.
Anyway, so the evolution of me building things and many things not working out has taught me resilience, which I think, so you said wellness and entrepreneurship mix very well. They do, because in the gym, you have to fail to grow, right? What is the mission in the gym? Bring your muscles to failure, right? Or bring your system to exhaustion so that it can positively adapt. It's the exact same thing in entrepreneurship. It's like you have to experience what doesn't work to adapt and find out what does work.
Yeah.
So my journey into entrepreneurship has allowed me to become a better leader to where I am now. And how did wellness play into that? Like, your question is, when you feel truly in charge of your well-being, you feel much more confident, right?
Yes.
Like there's a sense of confidence.
Yeah.
When I believe that a great leader is truly a confident leader. I don't think you can lead from a position of, feeling insecure, because then you usually try to rule and you try to, put some force into it that's not natural and
Yeah.
not conducive to a great workplace. But definitely the healthy habits that I've learned to, make a lifestyle in wellness has, and the consistency has allowed me to be able to be a business owner and have teams and work with them from a position of like, let's make sure that well-being is a part of this ecosystem.
Yeah.
Because well-being is performance at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So people are going to perform better when they feel healthy, when they feel active, when they feel like they're growing and they're, even the struggles, they look at it a different way. They're like, okay, what am I going to learn from this? How am I going to grow from this? So if you can infuse that lesson that you learned in the wellness journey into the business journey, you can really have a positive impact on people, which I found.
Yeah, interesting. No, I really believe in so as well, especially because now I see that in general, people are very interested in learning more about business and more about wellness. And I think the common ground is also that through wellness and through business, you can really grow. Like there's a self-growth path. And now people, they don't want to settle for less. They want to grow, because also I think social media in a good and in a bad way is showing you every day that this person is doing better than you, So this is a very bad thing, because it creates a lot of insecurity and comparison, of course. But it's also kind of like a push if you take it in a not victimistic mentality, but in a positive one.
I actually want to touch on that. That's exactly it. It's like, it's a little bit of a wake-up call. Like it's not fun to see someone rubbing it in your face how many millions they made and they're like a 14-year-old kid, who just smashed it on YouTube, It's like, oh, okay. But at the same time, it's like, damn, like that is possible, right? It used to be you go to school, you get your degree, you get a job in that degree field, and you climb your way up, right? And that was your life path.
Yeah.
Thank goodness that's becoming outdated. Thank goodness more people are, and I do believe that wellness has a big role in that. When you, again, the gym, self-improvement, what is self-improvement, right? Self-improvement is not only physical. If you look at the holistic sense of it, it's how am I improving my life, right? And the easiest way to do it is you go to the gym. That is the easiest way to do it, or you start running, whatever. Personal development is the easiest gateway is the physical, is just moving your body, gaining confidence from that, learning to adapt through that. You're building yourself, you're building your character, you're building your habits. Now, when you also add the emotional and the success part of that, you become a weapon. You really do. And that's why I think the two worlds are emerging right now. Like you said, more people than ever want to be entrepreneurs. They want to do things themselves. They want that side hustle, or they want to, be their own boss.
Yeah.
And I think that the trajectory of wellness and that self-improvement thing, I think they're one and the same.
Yes.
I think that movement is what's powering people to start to say, I can do this myself. Just like instead of going to a doctor and saying, hey, fix me, they're like, no, I can do this myself. And I think that awakening is the most exciting part of our generation.
I like that you're using the word awakening. It's so true, especially because it's giving like a sense of freedom as well, in a way that you're not depending on someone else's mind to tell you exactly what you have to do, but you're experiencing yourself by failing and succeeding eventually.
Exactly. But it's scary, right? It is.
Taking that step. It's a bit scary, though.
It is scary because there's no guarantees, right? And the scariest part is like knowing that I'm going to have to fail, or like, not I'm going to have to fail, but you have to be okay with it if it does happen. Because what breaks my heart is watching people take the first step, fail, and then never do it again.
Yeah.
That's sad to me, because it's like, no, that fail was the first test. You get past that, and the second failure is a lot easier. People think the second failure is harder. It's not. The second failure is easier. You just went through the first one, and you're like, oh, that was the worst. Then you go through the second one, and you're like, oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
So like, I want to see more people not just take the first step, but really just follow through, because that's when that's what's going to change the world, literally, is when people accept that failure is just part of it, but keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a spontaneous question from the previous point that we touched about the emotional part that you mentioned, because you mentioned that you understood that the emotional part was kind of like impacting you in the way you got sick, because maybe you didn't take care of the emotional part or the spiritual, the mental whatever.
All of it.
All of it.
I didn't take care of any of that.
Oh, you were also very, very young, I would
Yes,
say.
yes.
And how much your emotional part is playing or not playing a role in your leadership right now? How did you manage your emotion in a way that are serving you rather than, make you feel sick?
Right. So from a leadership perspective,
Yes.
I think
Because a lot of leaders or a lot of people in the business are saying you don't have to have emotions, which I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
really
That's one way to
agree.
do it. I have worked with people who operate from that
Yeah,
perspective,
yeah,
and they do okay,
yeah,
but it's a very particular style, and I
yeah,
think there's a lot of times a very particular outcome. I think the leaders that I respect the most, and I've seen the most explosive and incredible growth, are the ones that have probably gone through a very hard journey, and like emotionally as well. They've
yeah.
probably gone through trauma, they've gone through business failures, and now I think the word I'm looking for is empathy. I think as a leader, if you can be sympathetic, not in a way where you're like, oh, poor you, like take some time off, it's like, no, you got a business to run. But if you can be empathetic and if you can really see the person for what they're going through or
Yeah.
what they're struggling, if someone's struggling, to understand where that struggle is really coming from,
Yeah.
I think that can become like a superpower for a leader. Is like, at the end of the day, it's awareness. It's an awareness of, if someone on the team is struggling, it's first taking personal responsibility for that. Hey, you're on my team. I'm letting you down in some way if you're struggling.
Yeah.
Or if it's personal, how can I help this person and channel whatever that frustration is or that sadness is into something that is either going to work for both of us,
Absolutely.
So I think empathy is a big one, and I think that's missing in a lot of leadership roles. Is and awareness of like a sensitivity of like what people are experiencing.
Yeah.
But it's as a boss or as a business owner, it's very easy to lose that part because you're so reactive.
Yeah.
You're putting out fires. You have to be a little bit. You have to be
On edge,
tough,
yeah.
and you have to be tough. You do. So you have to be tough, but in a confident and present way.
Absolutely.
And that's something you can't fake.
Yeah.
And it's something that you really have to embody, and that takes a long time. So
Yeah.
I probably didn't get to, and I'm of course still working on that. I'm not a super boss, but I think that that's an evolution, and I think that if I'm looking back, I'm a much more effective leader now,
Yeah.
and decision maker in general, because of the work I've done to be more present and to be more cognizant of what people are experiencing.
Yeah.
And I think that is really how you can help those around you and turn a team into like a superpower.
Yeah.
All like a unit really working together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for the answer. I love that. And so you were mentioning that you're launching your new brand, but before mentioning all this interesting part, I want to ask you a little bit about your journey actually from when you were 18. You mentioned that you open a gym.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you guide us through your journey so the followers and the listeners can actually recollect what you did, because you have an amazing path, and then eventually talking about this new adventure?
Sure. Yeah, it's, I mean, so let's skip past the construction company.
Yeah.
I don't know why I keep on putting the construction company, which was a ton of fun. But we did okay, but I overpaid my employees. I didn't understand taxes, so that was kind of like a mess in the end. But it was a great growth experience.
Yeah.
When the wellness really started, like I was a personal trainer, by the way, during that time. So it was running the construction company mostly in the afternoons, and then personal training in the morning. Opening the gym, it was I was like a pretty well-known personal trainer at that time, and investors got together and asked me to build them a gym concept, which I did from the ground up, which was hugely rewarding. And then I got an opportunity to work in Los Angeles as a celebrity trainer. So I took that opportunity and I flew out to LA and started training some top names, which was a great experience for me because it was humbling to go from big cool trainer in Canada to like, ooh, wow, this is a very different scene now.
Yeah.
Now you got to step up your game, Dave.
Yeah.
Like you're playing on a different level now.
Absolutely.
So that was a great upgrade for me to upgrade my skills. And then I ended up changing directions a little bit, and I went on a little bit of a spiritual journey and moved to Bali, lived there for a year, always still in the wellness space. I was writing, fitness blogs and basically writing articles for and web copy and as a copywriter. And then that journey took me to Thailand, where I got deep into functional medicine, very deep into functional medicine. And my specialty was gut health and inflammation and cortisol. Actually, those were kind of my three pillars that I felt I can make the biggest difference in educating people about.
Absolutely.
So I did like a speaking tours for a couple years, consulted to different wellness retreats, building out their education programs. And then I noticed that most people who were coming to hear me speak or learn from what I was teaching had the same issues. They weren't sleeping well. They had imbalanced cortisol, which means they had low cortisol in the morning, high cortisol at night, and their cycles were all off due to poor stress management, overstress, sympathetic activation, and their gut health was just wrecked. I saw so much like SIBO, a lot of H. pylori issues, like parasitic issues, a lot of really serious stuff.
Yeah.
And I created supplements to address those issues. And that became my first supplement brand. It was called Transcend. And then as I was running that between Thailand and Hong Kong, you asked me for the story. I'm giving you the whole story.
No, I love that. I love that.
All right. So I was running Transcend between Thailand and Hong Kong, and where I had clients. And then I found that most of my clients were from this weird city called Dubai, which I had never been to. And because I was living in the jungle, right? I was off the grid, running this company, in my board shorts and like working at a cafe. And doing pretty well, selling quite a bit of supplements because they were really good supplements, and there was demand. So then this Dubai got on the radar, and like so many people from Dubai were buying my supplements, and I'm like, I got to check this place out. What's going on in this city?
Well, what's up here? Yeah.
And then I met someone who came to hear me speak on a detox resort. Ended up trying my product, and she was from Dubai, and she ended up investing in the business. She's like, you got to bring this over. Like this is gold. So I brought that over here, and then that company was doing reasonably well, but then I had a really interesting opportunity to kind of close that down and start an electrolyte business, which I did, which got very big very fast. And then I made an exit out of there because I had a different vision from just electrolytes. And because my passion is like longevity, right? It's more holistic. It's more optimization around the entire spectrum of what you can do with supplements. Yeah. So that brings us to present day with my new brand called Forus. Wow. So the concept of Forus is we now manufacture and formulate supplements that were previously only accessible to the athletes, the celebrities, and these like super high-tech biohackers. Now we're making that for all of us. So we believe that recovery isn't just for athletes, and anti-aging isn't just for old people.
Absolutely.
It's for us all. So that's the name Forus.
I love that. We can't wait actually to see.
Almost here. Yeah, it's coming out mid-November.
Nice. So to share with our followers. So the supplement is coming in 5 weeks, you said?
In 5 weeks, and they're very specialty supplements. So we are only using patented ingredients or like 100% science-backed ingredients. So we have two products that we're going to market with. And the idea behind the two is we want like a day and a night combo. Yeah. Because there's so much confusion in supplements. One of the biggest questions is like, what do I take? Like, because you could be taking 100 different things, right? If you listed out all of the supplements that could benefit you, it's too many, right? Yeah, too many. So the main thing is, and the problem we're here to solve is like, let us help you build your healthy foundation. Let's start with the gut, let's start with the inflammation, and let's start with sleep. Yeah. So those three pillars are what our two supplements completely change in your system. Yeah. So it completely upgrades your gut health. We have, you know about peptides? I'm sure you do. Of course you do. I don't talk to many hosts who are also nutritionists, so that's amazing. So our first product is called BPC Gold, and it's BPC 157 with a phytosomal curcuma, which is really cool. So like the absorption rate is just through the roof. Yeah. So you have this gut healing BPC peptide that also helps with inflammatory pathways. And then you have a patented long beta curcuma that's phytosomal. So the absorption rate is through the roof. So you just get an incredible holistic benefit with that. Yeah. So it is the most advanced BPC on the market. And then we have so that's what you take in the daytime. Yeah. At night, we made a product called REM Plus. so your REM sleep.
Yep.
And it's 4 patented ingredients. It's magnesium glycinate with the highest possible yield, so you get more magnesium per capsule than anything else. Then it's patented lemon balm, which is really powerful for soothing. It triggers your GABA, so your inhibitory neurotransmitters.
Yeah.
So that excitability we all have, it just calms you down. And then one of the there's 2 more ingredients. One is saffron, but patented saffron.
Yeah.
Phytosomal saffron called Affron, and it's the most studied saffron extract in the world. It's extremely powerful for like triggering natural melatonin release. So I don't advise people to take melatonin.
Yeah.
It's a hormone, right?
Yeah,
so
it is.
I mean, it's okay if you do it once in a while, but as a daily supplement, no, don't.
Also, people don't know how to use it and dose it,
The
which
dose,
is scary.
yeah. I mean, the dose ranges from like 0.1 milligrams to 10 milligrams.
Yeah.
It's way, because your body doesn't absorb it well, but I do not recommend taking melatonin or supplements that contain melatonin. What you want to do is you want to teach your body to produce its own melatonin in its natural, healthy cycle. So that's what this supplement does.
Yeah.
And then we added an element called L-plantarum, a patented probiotic that's only 1 strain. And this is the most anti-inflammatory strain of bacteria almost in the world.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. And it's special patented, which means it has 4 coatings around it. So it survives the breakdown of your stomach acid, survives the heat, and then survives like the last part of your digestion, so that more of the active probiotic actually goes through your system.
Wow.
It's incredible.
I cannot wait to try them.
Yes, thank you.
I really cannot wait.
When I make a supplement, I need to be super proud of it, right? Like it needs to be something that I just know is going to help people. Yeah. And with these 2 products, and my co-founder, by the way, is a genius. Like I thought I was a nerd. He's a biohacking nerd to the next level.
Wow.
Like every time we have a meeting, he's like wearing some red light thing. You know,
He's
got some frequency thing on. And I'm like, man, you are next level.
Next time he needs to come to the podcast as well with his own frequency.
Get him on. The amount of meetings we've taken where he's sitting in his ice bath, like it's hilarious. Yeah. He'll turn on the camera and he's in an ice bath. I'm like, Mom, you're too much. Or
personal branding.
In his little in his little infrared sauna hut. Like he's next level.
Wow.
So best co-founder in the world. And he's a genius with formulation too. So, you know, he spent 25 years plus in the pharma industry. So he understands the intricacies of formulation.
You need experience, of course.
So so us 2 together, we make a power team, and we're here to bring the best supplements to the region and beyond.
I love it. Can't wait to try them, actually.
I can't wait to get them to you.
Yeah.
You're going to love it.
I'm sure about it also because, you know, gut health for me it's super important as a specialist myself. It's the foundation of everything. It's our brain.
It is.
It's our brain, and I am happy when someone is coming to the podcast and is reinforcing this concept, because I think, especially in this region, is very underrated.
It is.
I would say there's not much knowledge about it, so we need to say out loud the gut is your brain. So
it is.
Treat it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And your emotions, you know, that's where our serotonin is produced, right? So many people with anxiety or depression, it starts in the gut.
Yes.
You heal this and your whole outer world is going to completely change.
100%.
Yeah.
Dave, I have a last question for you. So where do you see the wellness industry going in the future? This is something that I always ask people in the wellness industry, because now with the raising of technology, AI, blending with business, with supplements. So there are people that have a very, I would say 90% of the guests that I have, they're very optimistic. Some of them, they're a bit like, we still need like a physical connection. I think we're going to lose it. So there's a negative and positive connotations, but I really want to hear your honest opinion and also your question or doubt if you have any.
Yeah. So great question. I'm excited for the future of the wellness industry.
Yeah.
Now, 2 things are going to happen. One, you're going to see more and more products coming out that are irrelevant and that are just tech driven or gadget driven or hype driven, and they really don't have an important place in people's lives. So I think you're going to see the market flooded with useless things.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see that. But I also think you're going to see the way people live is going to fundamentally change, in that our everyday interactions with wellness. So again, let's go back. What did it used to be? Wellness meant you go to the gym.
Yeah.
That's it. You go to the gym.
Yeah.
Maybe you get a massage, and that's your recovery.
True.
Right? Like that's it. Now we have, there's developers that are creating apartment buildings and, you know, new luxury buildings that have ice baths built in, that have infrared saunas, that have hyperbaric
clinics inside,
pods. Clinics inside. So it's becoming woven into our day to day.
Yeah.
So wellness is not a fad, it's not a trend, it's here to stay.
Yeah.
Longevity, however you define that. I mean, I define longevity as, I like the word health span better, because you don't want to live forever if you're living poorly, right?
Yeah.
So it's the quality of your life
Over
and
quantity,
hopefully
yeah.
extending that into your, you want to be fit and able in your 80s. You want to be biking in your 90s, It's not impossible. People in Japan do it all the time, right?
Absolutely.
So it's the quality of life. So I think in the wellness, as this industry grows, the accessibility is going to increase. It's going to become just woven into our daily life. There's going, like in office buildings, there's going to be infrared saunas, right? In the locker rooms. So it's going to become so much more accessible. But in all of and all that's great. But in all of that, people are still going to forget to build their foundation.
Yeah.
Because they're so distracted with what they could be doing for a little therapy here, or a little bit there, or an injection here, that we're going to probably go through a little phase where people are going to be doing too much of the things that aren't moving the needle.
Yeah.
And maybe even some things that are a little bit dangerous. Like a great example of that is these injectable peptides that people are taking now. There are too many people taking too many different injectable peptides.
I know.
It's not that they're bad. Some of them are great, but it's not for everyone, and they don't need to be stacked like 4 different ones.
Yeah.
Like you see every influencer, right? No, not every influencer, but you know what I mean, saying, this is my new peptide stack. I'm like, these peptides have been out for a couple years, some of them a couple months.
Yeah.
You don't advise this to the average person because everybody reacts differently.
Absolutely.
I've spoken with a lot of people in the last week who have been to the hospital for administering their own injectable peptides, and it's reacted very, very badly for many different people.
There's a war behind it, especially I see also that there is this a rising of peptides, but I feel that I don't know if you agree, there's still a lot of confusion because people like now they start now to understand what a peptide is and how it works, but I think they just want to introduce it without even researching about it.
Exactly. There's the science is evolving faster than the education.
Exactly.
It is.
Exactly.
So there's like already a Gen 4 GLP-1 when people are just starting to grasp the Gen 1.
Yeah.
And we're already on Gen 4, so hurry up. So again, I'm not against peptides. I take some injectable peptides, and I have for a decade. But it's just not something you just throw out there. It's not a multivitamin.
No.
It's not your vitamin D in the morning and your vitamin
No.
C. Do a little bit more research.
Yeah.
Find out if it's really right for you. Start at a very small dose. You know, the biohacking in that way it's fun and it's empowering, but be responsible.
Yeah.
And when it comes to injectables, just be responsible.
I love that you pointed out.
Yeah.
Be responsible.
Just
Try,
be responsible.
but
yeah. Inform yourself, educate, get yourself excited about it if it seems right for you, but be responsible.
Absolutely. Dave, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
It was a lovely conversation. And guys, where people can find you?
I'm on Instagram, but I'm not very active, but I will start getting active now. I have my new brand that I'm bringing to life. I'm very proud of that and very excited. So I'll be educating again in that way. So at Dave Catudal.
Perfect. And what's the name of the brand again? So they can...
Forus. So F-R-O-U-S. Forus.
Love it. Yeah. Love it. Thank you so much for being with
Thank
us.
you.
And guys, see you next time.